everyone, this is going to be a video showing you all the upgrades that I've made now to my Beretta 92 FS. This is going to be slightly different than the top 5 upgrades. This is going to be all of the upgrades I made. And some of my opinions between then and now have changed, so I'm going to be telling you the different ideas I have now as opposed to then. The top 5 upgrades to Beretta 90 series handguns that I made is still a good video that I agree with. But as I said, some of my opinions have changed now, and that's mainly because I think that video now is better for a range gun, as opposed to something that you're actually going to use for self-defense. So, before I do anything, I'm going to make sure that this gun is empty. Nothing in the chamber. Of course, it has no magazines in it. The weapon is clear. So, the first upgrade that I made to this gun, and it's a very easy one to do, is I changed the guide rod from the plastic guide rod to the steel one. This here is stronger and slightly heavier than the original. So, as I said, stronger, a little bit heavier, makes it, in my opinion, even more shootable. Of course, it's a 9mm. There's not a whole lot of recoil, but this reduces recoil even more because it has more weight to the front. And on top of that, it does look cool having the contrast of the stainless steel guide rod against the black gun. Now, next upgrade, I'm going to go from front to back, top to bottom. So, next upgrade I did is the glow-on paint for the front sight. Now, you can do this with a lot of different things. Of course, this here is glow-on paint, the name brand, but you can use any glow-in-the-dark paint. If you have a wife or a daughter or a sister or whatever, you could even use glow-in-the-dark fingernail polish. It'll accomplish the same task, and if you're on a budget, that'll be a lot easier to do. The purpose of this is that when light hits it, it can charge and glow. Now, this isn't something that I'd say you want to rely on all the time because it may not have time to glow. You know, especially if you're pulling it out and using it, it won't have time to glow. So you don't want to rely on this. But, you know, if it does glow, it's of course not going to hurt anything. Next upgrade is blacking out the rear sights. And this is a really easy upgrade to do. I did it with a Sharpie marker. That's how easy it is. So just take a Sharpie marker, black out the dots, maybe give it 2 or 3 coats of that, and then you will have all black sights, just like mine is, as you can see. To black out these rear sights, I used a Sharpie. You can use a Sharpie, it works very well, just make sure you give it a few coats. So I gave this about 3 coats, and it's completely black. You can also use paint, you can use fingernail polish, once again, if that's what you have access to. You can use whatever that can be brushed onto right there, and if you don't like the sights being blacked out later, you can just put paint back in the dots and it'll be no big deal. Next upgrade. Changing the grips to these Crimson Trace grips. Now I like these because at nighttime you may not be able to see your sights. So the good thing about this is pretty much now you will always see the dot at night. Of course you want to make sure that the battery is good. You know, replace them maybe once a year. That's what I'm going to do with mine. Replace it once a year to make sure that it's always, good to go. But the advantage of this is, for one, if it's nighttime and you can't see your sights, then you will be able to see the red dot. And the way I use this is I don't use this as a replacement for my sights. That's a big mistake. I don't do that. What I do is I still practice to find the front sight. But what I do is I practice this way. I can see the front sight, good, then use it. But if it's a situation where looking for the front sight, can't see it, okay, use the laser. That's how I use it. So I think that's an awesome upgrade to do. Another advantage of these Crimson Trace grips is that it has a slight palm swell here and a slight recess here. So it fits the hand better. At least for me it does. Now it's going to make it slightly bigger right here, but of course it's going to have to because that's what activates the laser. But either way, for me at least, these are very good feeling grips. Plenty grippy, not too grippy, because to me that was a problem with the VZ grips, is they were nice for at the range and shooting, and they felt really secure, but the problem is, like when getting a 2-hand grip and you're pushing on your fingers, then all of a sudden it's like pushing your fingers into, well, little sharp things, because that's what those grips are. But I like these grips. They're definitely expensive a bit, but you get what you pay for, and these are awesome grips. Next upgrade I like the Inox hex head grip screws, and this is mainly for looks, but I also prefer the hex head because I find them easier to screw in with an Allen key, and I like the Inox color because, for one, it provides some contrast against the black, and it matches the stainless steel guide rod. Now, the last upgrade I recommend is up your capacity if you can, legally of course. The Beretta 92FS comes with 15-round magazines. These are 17-round magazines, straight from Beretta. You can also check out the MechGar 18-round magazines, which I may check out. And Wilson Combat does sell the 18-round magazines, so I highly doubt that they're going to sell magazines that aren't reliable. But of course, check them for reliability before you decide to carry them. If you're using this for home defense, you can also use the 20-round magazines, which I have right here. It sticks out a little bit, but, you have 20 rounds now. And this here is another Beretta factory magazine. As you can see, it sticks out a little bit, not too much. Some people would say that 20-round magazines like this are a bad idea because it can get it to where the gun can be leveraged out of your hand. But here's the thing, realistically, a lot of things can cause it, in my opinion. Some recommend suppressors on a gun for home defense. Well, that's even worse, because think about it, now that's in front. For me, I carry the 17-round magazine in the gun, but as my spare mag, I actually carry this 20-round magazine. The reason for that is because I figure this: if something happens that I need to reload my pistol, it's a bad day, and I want a few extra rounds. They also make 30-round magazines, of course, and I have one for at the range. I don't use that for carry. And of course, you may want to look into laws and different things like that. So for me, 20 rounds spare, 18 in the gun because 17 in the magazine, 1 in the chamber. That's 38 rounds. That will be more than enough for most situations. That's pretty much it. Keep in mind, I'm not a lawyer, so if you want good legal advice, contact a lawyer. This is just some of my ideas. I hope this was helpful and informative. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya!